Hello and welcome to my latest video. So this time I'm going to be having a look at just a few of the books that I got during the month of May and into early June. And these are sort of my latest pickups. Now there's not a lot this time. There is barely 10 books, and the reason for that mainly is because I've just not had a chance to go out and really look for some stuff. I have bought a couple of slightly more expensive books, which is also, I do have a budget to spend on books, and I sort of blew it all on the one book. However, I still got some other bits and pieces that do need some attention, and also sort of a bit of a catch up on the channel in general. I did also get a particularly nice little donation from a viewer over in America of some Star Trek books that I was after. So once again, we'll have a look at those as well. The other great thing, of course, is I recently hit 10,000 subscribers on the channel, which is absolutely fantastic. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so we'll start off with this one, which is the 73 annual. And I think what we'll do initially then, because this is going to need quite a good, it's got a nice shiny surface, so it means I can just polish this one up. However, it has got, it's come away here along the spine. Now I'm down to just, after this one, I only need one more annual for the set of all the British Star Trek annuals, so I am very much hoping to get that one soon. Then I'm going to do a little video of all the British annuals. So I think initially then I'm just going to get some glue and pop it down that seam there, just to sharpen up the spine here. Nothing too complicated, just using my normal sort of Pritt stick, which is my go-to sort of glue in these instances. Quite a bit to do, so I'm being quite generous. So yeah, I've been really enjoying collecting these slightly oddball Star Trek annuals, and certainly I had some as a kid, but some have been much harder to find than others. Ironically, the last one I need is the 1974 one, which I've just not been able to find in nice condition at all. I have got my eyes on one, and I'm prepared to pounce, so fingers crossed that one will be mine. But at the moment, that's the last one I actually need. There's also one for the next generation, but I've got one of those on the way, so fingers crossed condition-wise that one proves to be all right as well. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's going to take a little bit of time to go off this one. So while it's here, so I shall just run my toothbrush along the top edge while it's lying down here. If you've seen any of my cleaning videos before, you know that's what I usually do. Yeah, it's sort of stuck in. It's come away a little bit. It's not perfect, but I think it'll be okay. It's going to be good enough on the shelf. It's got that red cover which will be susceptible to fading, and this one's actually quite a nice conditioned spine on it. So really all that needs now, just to finish it off, is a darn good polish over sort of where the logo is. So I'll do that towards the end, the polishing side of it, because we've got a few other books to do, but that will really finish it off, because you can see all that sort of dirt along the top edge will come off without any problem at all. Now, this one here, I got dirt cheap, and it's the large format PAM edition of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Now it is borderline whether I'm going to be able to do anything with this one. So it's actually detached. The cover is clean off. So I mean, it's a real job in itself. I mean, I think this sort of staining I can probably get off. There's a loss to the top and bottom of the spine. I'm going to struggle with that. I might be able to get that sticker off. But it's a high old job, this one. I mean, I don't know whether I should even attempt it, to be honest, because it's not an expensive book. Also, the book itself is coming away. It's not all together, as you can see. Such a shame, but you know, I don't really it's very borderline. There's ink staining down the bottom there. I mean, as I said, it was dirt cheap. It was like a couple of quid, and for a book that I haven't got, I did want to keep it, but I just don't know. I don't know if it's worth the time and effort. It's not like it's a mega rarity, so I may just keep it as a filler and not do much with it. Just maybe some basic repair. I don't know. I might just click the spine back in and leave it as that, as a filler, just for the time being, because as I said, it is one that I haven't actually got. Now, I've been loving Allo Allo lately. I've been rewatching it on BritBox, and it was a series I pretty much watched them all back in the day, and they didn't do much for Allo Allo. They did some bits and pieces for the stage show, but one of the things I have been trying to do is put together a little run of signed photos of the cast, because a lot of them are no longer with us. That's just a one-off promotional photo of Gordon Kay there, but they did a couple of these books. These were like sort of Christmas ones that you would buy at Christmas, sort of the Christmas hardbacks. The War Diaries of René Artois, volumes 1 and 2. And I have managed to pick up a few signed pictures. So I got this one here, Arthur Bostrom as Officer Crabtree. Richard Gibson. Yeah, Flick. The Guy Signer. Obviously he was in Doctor Who, Genesis of the Daleks, but he was Lieutenant Gruber with his little dank, and Gordon Kay himself. So I'm going to try and get some more of the cast there, but there's lots of photos. I mean, they're not difficult to get at all, but I would like to get them on these official sort of promotional BBC ones if I can. So that'll be a little bit of a harder job to do. But yeah, been enjoying Allo Allo. So these books, they're really nice. They just need a bit of a, that's just a publicity still. They just need a polish down, a bit like the Star Trek annual, and those will be perfect. Now, yeah, one of the reasons why I haven't bought a lot this month is because I bought this one, which was You Asked For It, which is the US first paperback edition of Casino Royale, published by Popular Library. Now, it's not mint by any means, but it's such a rare book. Really top grade copies are in the £600 mark now. I didn't pay anything like that for this copy, but I did get it off a bond specialist dealer. Now, I'll link to that bond dealer as I discuss this, and he's got a beautiful website, so do go and check it out. I've got lots of stuff, lots of Fleming first editions and related books, paperbacks and memorabilia, so do be sure to check that one out. But that's where I got this one off that dealer, and it was bulletproofly packed, and I'm very, very pleased to get that particularly difficult paperback off my wants list. Really doesn't need any cleaning. It's about as good as this is going to get, so there's not really a lot more I can do with that one. Now, I did get one other Bond book this month, and this was the director's edition of Moonraker, one I've been after for a very long time. I've done a completely separate video where I've cleaned this one up because it was in a sorry old state. The tops and bottoms of the spines were damaged, and I've well, it took me about an hour to clean it up, which is why I'm sort of reluctant to do chitty chitty bang bang now. But it came up really, really well. The spine's back on, it's nice and tight, and I'm certainly very pleased to have one of these scarcer director's editions in my collection. Now, the next 3 books were given to me. They were sent over by a fellow Star Trek fan from America called Michael Howard. Now, Michael has got a phenomenal collection of Star Trek books. I think, as it currently stands, there's 800 different fiction books in his collection, with about 70 which are duplicated in some form, either hardback, paperback, or different covers in that. And then I think he's got about 300 plus non-fiction Star Trek books. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, I've been chronicling the Star Trek books month by month, and one of the ones that I could not find for love nor money was Star Trek II Biographies by William Rotsler. Now, although this one is actually sort of aimed at youngsters, I still wanted to include it. So I've been able to do that on my latest Star Trek video, thanks to Michael, who generously sourced a couple of copies and sent me this one over. So this one has actually been put into a library hardback binding. This was a paperback initially, and Pocket published it under their Wanderer imprint. I'm not actually going to clean this one in my usual way, but I've been able to use it for reference when I've been writing the Star Trek histories up. I've also sent the Star Trek histories to Paperback Parade. So it's going to be in the very next issue, which is like a Star Trek special. This one I did already have, although it's actually quite scarce, and I think once I clean this up, I'm not sure, but this one might actually be better than my own copy. It is still very, very scarce to find in the UK. And it's sort of like, well, it's almost like a crazy caption. It's Star Trek stills with a caption next to it. bit of an unusual one. This is a Ballantine one, so that one, once again, that can have a little bit of a polish. And also from Michael, he sent this one as well. I didn't expect these, but I was really pleased to get this because I've only got this one in the UK edition, which is a wallaby inside, which is the same as this, but the cover is completely different. So I'm really pleased to get this because my Star Trek collection, I want to be all US printings, not the British editions. Just giving that one a little polish on the top. So this one is mainly going to need some polish. I've got a bit of pen on the bottom there, but I don't think there's any internal marks at all. No, that's fine. So everything on that pile over there, I just need to give a bit of a polish to. This was quite an unusual find. I'm very pleased to get this, a Star Trek picture book. Now this, I don't know if you can see, right down the bottom there, it says Total Special Edition, not to be resold. So Total, when this came out in the UK, were a petrol company. You take your car there and fill it with petrol. And this appears to be Gold Key reprints yet again. And it might just be one sort of complete story. The copyright on the back here says, well, 1969 and 1973. So 1973 would probably be the date this was printed. And it says published in Great Britain by PBS Limited. There we are. I think this is quite scarce, you know. Softback. Not a lot to it. It's almost like a colouring book. Very, very scarce that. So there's nothing else I can do with that one. It's absolutely fine. But I'm going to keep that with my annuals because I think that's quite a rarity, that one. And then the last thing we've got to do, well, you might be seeing double. So as you might be aware, I'm collecting Dick Francis first editions, and I picked up a lot on eBay, which was 2 Dick Francis first editions, which was those 2. And in actual fact, I only wanted the entire lot for this book's dust wrapper because I have a copy of this in first edition, but the wrapper is appalling. This one isn't mint, it's got some wear at the bottom and it's faded on the spine, but it's still far, far better than the one that I've got. And then the book also came with an ex-library of Flying Finish. Now, Flying Finish, I've actually got a beautiful copy of that one already in first edition, and it's actually been signed by Dick Francis, so I don't need to do anything with this one. That's going to stay exactly as it is, except it needs the dust wrapper protected with some plastic wrap, which I've now got a brand new roll of, so we're going to do that in a minute. But this one here, as you can see, this is my copy of Bloodsport. Now the book itself isn't too bad. The actual first edition, it's not too bad, all things considered. I found this one particularly difficult to get hold of. There's a bit of a spine roll on it, in actual fact, which I'd like to sort of get a bit more sorted out. But it's been popped on the shelf because I've been on the lookout for a better dust wrapper, and that's exactly what I've now got. Because if we look at this one, Flying Finish, this is just an ex-library one, and the dust wrapper has been trimmed. It's a real dog. So I'm not going to do anything with that at all, except I'll put it back up onto eBay and let someone else have a little bit of that one. But this Bloodsport here, I actually do want this wrapper for my better condition book. So this copy of Bloodsport is actually, it's an ex-library. So you can see, this is actually worse. So I don't want to keep that one. And I want to put my old Tatty Dustwrapper of Bloodsport back onto this one. Like so. And those are just going to go back up onto eBay at some point as 2X Library first editions. So that's them. But now this was the better condition one. Now someone has already popped this into a protective sleeve. I don't like these ones really with the white background to them. I prefer them to be sort of completely clear, and that's the wrapper that I have here. So as I said, it is an X Library, so there is this sort of glue marks on them. But there's not a lot I can really do about that one, so it's still going to be okay on my shelf, you know. As I said, I've had an awful job trying to get a really nice one of this, so I'll keep looking, but until a really nice one turns up, I'm just going to stick with this. So I shall pop that onto there, and in a moment we'll give this one and Flying Finish a brand new dust jacket. But before we start that, I'm going to just get all these other bits and pieces done. So can't do anything with those ones, but I have got a bit of polishing to do, and that's what we're going to do now. So I've not really needed to do too much. As I said, that Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, well, I see how we get on for time, but I think I might just leave that one as a filler because it's so far gone and the book is so cheap to find that I don't really think it warrants a full repair, you know. Right, so I've got my Mr. Sheen here. Give it a little squirt. Yeah, so I guess the main thing is, thank you very much for Michael for sending me over those freebies. Once again, this is just an example of how generous the book community is, and once again how seemingly generous the Star Trek community is. This is just through one of the Facebook groups. I don't really know Michael very well. I've known of him. He's got one of the best, if not the best, collection of Star Trek books in the world. So he is an authority on the subject. And I did ask him to send me some pictures of his collection, which he's now put up online, and I shall pinch those and put them in as I'm cleaning this video, so you can just see how amazing his collection is. So, you know, there's my resource. If I ever get stuck looking for a particular book, I know who to ask. What with him and my other friend Chris and his daughter Juliet over in the States, who also give me a hand as well, and he sent some books over to me. I really am in a very good position. So I will be sending little rewards back from the UK over to the States for both of them as a little thank you for being so generous to me. So the other big news, of course, is that the channel has just hit 10,000 subscribers, which is a little milestone, that. And certainly one I'm very pleased to have hit, you know. It's fantastic, really. I got to admit, I never really would have thought that it would have taken off as it has, but I'm glad that it has, because you know, I really enjoy making the videos and filming my collection and my new acquisitions, and my sort of gaming videos seem to go down well. People do enjoy those. The biggest sort of thing at the moment is people do seem to really like the ASMR sort of videos that I do, or the ASMR qualities of some of the videos that I do. So these cleaning ones always go down very well. People like to just listen to the sound of the cleaning. But the gaming videos do well as well. I mean, when I say do well, they get lots and lots of views because they're like tutorials in a way. And if someone's stuck with a bit of software, then generally they prove to be quite useful, and they found them useful. So they consequently get lots and lots of views, you know, tens of thousands of views sometimes, which is great, but also a bit of a shock. But yeah, so 10,000 subscribers, fantastic. So onwards to 25,000, I think will be the next subscriber milestone. The next mini milestone, I think, is going to be 2 million views, which is, I'm on about 1,800,000 views, something like that. So when I hit 2 million, that'll be quite a nice milestone worth celebrating. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with chitty chitty today. And then, well, who knows where it could lead. So certainly got some cool series that I've been collecting that are almost coming to a head now. Look how bright that's going to come up. So as I said, I've got one more Star Trek annual, and then I've got the full set, and then I can do a nice video on all the British Star Trek annuals. Then I need one King Penguin book for the full set. Then I can do a couple of videos on that. I have started a couple of new series, so I've done the first part of Asterix the Gaul. I've been rereading the old Asterix books, and I'm going to be doing the same for Tintin. I've been going through my old Pocketeer games. I'm very excited. I've been digging out my Star Wars collection, and I've got a brand new series with which I'm doing with a chap in the States called John, and he has got a channel over here called Action Figure Grader on YouTube, and he's going to help me value my collection, because I've really not dared look, because I know some of the figures are expensive, but you know, I can't keep it forever, so eventually I'm going to have to get rid of it. So it'd be nice to know what I'm sort of looking at monetary wise, because there's no way I can get it all out on display. There's just too much of it. Yeah, so the plan is for me and John to sort of go through my vintage Star Wars collection and start totting it up. And I think that'll be quite a good little series, that, because I'm going to be surprised, believe me, surprised and a little horrified, I think. But John has got a lot of graded items, and it's something which I don't have a lot of experience of. So he's going to be able to guide me in what is quite a big area of collecting these days, is to have your stuff graded. Right, so let me just make a little bit more room, because we're going to need to get those two dust covers sorted now. Right then, so this is a brand new roll of this. Now the first sort of roll has been on the outside, so it's been exposed. It's not exactly perfect condition. So I'm just going to cut this first bit away, just so that the actual material that go on the book cover is as clean as I can get it. So sadly, this was a little bit damaged and dirty, so I've got rid of that. So I've only got two jackets to do. So the way I do these, I don't know if you've ever seen one of my, let's get rid of that in a minute, one of my videos where I've done dust jackets, but I roll the sheet out like so, nice and flat. Then I'll take the dust jacket, and hopefully, there we are. In actual fact, my this roll, because it's brand new, it's actually lying very flat anyway. So the first thing I want to do is cut out a piece of plastic which isn't too big, is just the right size for this particular book. And that's leaving a little margin at the end there. And I want to leave a little margin at this end as well, like so. So then I'm going to just cut. It's going to cut it over there. Now, one thing I should really do is thank, as well as all my viewers, anyone who's watched any of my videos, thank you very much. But special thanks do go to my Patreon supporters. And usually at the end of each video I do give my patrons a small little outro before the credits just to say thank you. But I think in celebration of there being 10,000 subscribers, and these are my extra special subscribers, I'm going to play that Patreon thanks right now. Right then, so the next step of the process is I have to fold over this bottom layer of the plastic here. So what I want to do is I'm going to put my old wooden ruler here against the edge of the dust wrapper, like so I don't ruin the actual book. And I'm just going to fold the plastic over like this, just so I get a nice tight layer. So I'm just fold rather. So I'm just going to do it lightly first of all, just to make sure it's in place like that. Then I'm going to get rid of the ruler and bend it back once again. Start off light and then get heavier and heavier. And this is the way I do it to avoid any sort of damage to the dust wrapper itself. See, the dust wrapper was designed by an artist called Broom Lynn. There we are, that's a nice flat finish. So let's get rid of the two Allo Allo books as my weights a moment. There we are. Now obviously I don't want it round that way, I want to flip it round because the book dust wrapper is supposed to be round this way. So I'm going to pop it round like that, and then of course use the same fold that we just did because we know that that's nice and tight, like so. And I'll put my weights back in. Well, actually what we need to do is turn it up the other way, like so. And I do try and do this with all my nice first edition hardbacks, is to give them the treatment, as it were, and protect the dust wrappers as best I can. So this has to go right up against that fold that we did just now. There we are, so that looks good. So we're going to put the weights back on again just to keep it in place, like so. Yeah, it's nice and flat. And then we need to turn over this bottom edge here. Yeah, so as well as Patreon, now that I've hit 10,000 subscribers, there's a couple of things that happen on the channel. I mean, to be honest, these were available to me even before I hit 10,000, but I don't know, I think YouTube promote them a little bit more when you're a bit bigger. And that is channel membership. So it's a bit like Patreon. So not everyone wants to do Patreon. But the way channel memberships work is that you can pay a small amount each month, from say £1 or $1, up to, well, whatever you want, $50 a month if you wanted to. And you decide, you can get like benefits from that. So you can get like special emojis that stand you out in the comments section if you comment on one of the videos. Well, to different sorts of benefits. I can decide, obviously, early access to videos similar to what my patrons get at the moment. And I am sort of thinking about doing this because YouTube sort of encourage it. But of course, they want people to be spending time on their platform and not spending it on Patreon, I guess, So, that's the reasoning behind it. So I'm thinking about doing that. So watch this space. The other thing that you can do once you hit 10,000 subscribers is merchandise. Now, this is something I am quite keen to do. but I don't really know what sort of merchandise people would like to buy, if anything. So I don't know. I would really appreciate some feedback. So would you be interested in like buying a mug or a t-shirt? You know, some of the more sort of common things that you might think of when you buy channel merchandise. Would you like something a bit more specific? Like, for example, how about a mug or a t-shirt with some of the classic Star Trek annuals on? I mean, they would be quite fun. They're all out of print. They're all over 50 years old. I can't imagine the copyright police would be after us, particularly if we took my own photos rather than just scanning the jackets. I think that sort of thing might be okay. So, you know, ideas really. Ideas below. What would you like? I mean, my channel logo on a mug. You tell me. You tell me. And I would very much like to know if there is something that you might fancy merchandise-wise. That would be pretty good fun, I think. Here we are. So I've changed the lighting slightly because certain loads of white on a picture with this lighting that I've got in the kitchen here is not ideal, and it sort of causes the picture to flicker. So I've turned off that bulk lighting in the hope that this is still just bright enough. It's a very dark and gloomy wet day today, so it's not ideal, but there's not a lot of natural light coming into the house. That one's okay. Yeah, that one's all right. It's just going to need now, which I shall do later, a big old weight on it to keep to sort of push the dust wrapper down a bit and keep it nice and flat. But yeah, quite a scarce one. It's taken me ages to get that. I'm so pleased with that one. So we do need to do the process again for flying finish. Take this one off. Yep, lovely jacket, that one. Yeah, so ideas on a postcard, please. What shall we do with the realms of merchandise? That'd be funny, wouldn't it? But I would like to do some if possible. Right, so this one from the end is actually just about perfect. Let's slip that one there. So that gives me a decent idea of where I need to cut, which is just along this little row here. I think is just about right. There we are, and we'll slide those up there. And we'll put this initial fold in, just like we did on the last one. This one's a much neater spine. There's no wear on this one, so it should fold nice and easy, like so. So it does. Let's get this old ruler out of the way. Someone once commented on one of my early cleaning videos, where did you get that ruler from? Well, I've had it since I was at school. so there you go. So 30 plus years is where I got that ruler from. There we are. That's the first bit. Flip it over to do part two. And because this one's in better condition, it's much easier to do the put the dust wrapper on. Just make sure it is nice and snug against the edge of that one that we've just turned over, which that one is. And it is there. There we are. quite easy, this one, because it's nice and flat. Lovely. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm going to just pull this end up a bit, like so. And I'll cut down this little bit of excess sleeve here. So this sleeve is really, really good. It lasts for ages. I bought this latest roll off eBay. I think it cost about £12.99, maybe £13. And it lasts a long time because you get meters and meters of it. Let's be honest, how much do you need? Look at that, it just makes the wrappers look fantastic, doesn't it? So let's put this aside. This is a beautiful, beautiful first edition, this one. 1966. Yeah, signed by Dick himself. His 6th book, but his 5th novel. Highly prolific, but I'm trying to get them in sort of order. There's a couple there's just one I'm missing now, which is, I missed one recently, and I just can't seem to find it in nice condition cheaply, so I'm just going to have to wait until one turns up. There we are. It's lovely, isn't it? It's really, really nice. A really nice jacket there as well. Very, very pleased with that. So what I'll do with these long term, this one's got that slight bend in it. Initially, they do need to have the air blown out of them because these dust wrappers store the air. So what I've done, I've got an old house brick here, and I've washed it, wrapped it up in paper for now, but I'm going to get the wife to put some cloth around it, and I'm going to use it as a weight. So you see that really goes on there, and that won't take long. Leave it on for a day or so, and that will blow all that air out those dust wrappers, and they'll look absolutely fine. So that's what's going to be happening to them. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with those two more great little additions to the collection. So there you go, that's it for another month of cleaning. So not a lot of pickups this time, but still some interesting stuff, I'm sure you'll agree. Once again, thanks for your continued support as I pass this little milestone of 10,000 subscribers. It certainly is much, much appreciated. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it that thumbs up, and do please consider subscribing if you've not already for regular vintage book content, and I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.